What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, it seems that the PC port of The Last of Us Part 1 is hot trash garbage. Now, a conspiracy theorist may be like, wait a second. Wasn't Sony saying some stuff about how if Microsoft owned Call of Duty, that they would make the PlayStation version hot trash garbage, make it less than, take out features, it'll be less performant? Didn't they just say that? And then, miraculously, by coincidence, the PC version, which is not the PlayStation version, let's be honest, it's not the Prime version, is hot trash garbage. When we all know that PCs perform way, way, way better than the PlayStation 5. Why is the PC version of The Last of Us Part 1 remake, remaster, whatever, it's the remake. Why is that unoptimized? Why was it not optimized? Now, we could blame money, we could blame time, we could blame the devs' lack of skill. But the fact that this happened right after they complained about it kinda almost maybe happening, and he's on his phone. You see that? You saw that, right? I saw that. He's just like, and goes driving the whip. He ain't goes riding, he's goes driving. Loud ass piece of shit. Anyway, they just finished complaining about it. The timing couldn't be any better. It's like, huh? How is this not like a TV? This has to be turned into a movie at some point. You thought the Atari days were crazy. You thought the Sega versus Nintendo was crazy. This is the craziest I've seen since the dawn of video games. Because I've been around since the dawn of, okay, that's a lie. I was born in the 70s, they were born in the 60s, technically. So, you know, but I'm still Gen X, so I'm the first generation of gamers. So let's just say that. And I've never seen nothing like this. Although, the internet is more prolific, so we get more of the juicy juice bits, right? We didn't get all the juicy juice bits when Nintendo and Sega were doing that thug thistle. And, you know, there's some stuff that Nintendo was doing back in the day. I think Sega might be still doing. Not Sega, I'm sorry, Sony. Yeah, I would have to do research on that to really figure out what the deal is. But anyway, that's a whole different thing that y'all don't know. But anyway, the thing about The Last of Us Part 1 remake on PC not being performant, is tied to all of the things that Sony has been saying, and which is also tied to the kind of issues that the US Congress are bringing up as far as the JFTC, right? So they're saying, hey, Japan, Sony Corp, they're not playing fair according to the US Japan treaty, fair trade treaty, digital products and right? They're not following the rules. And if you look at it from Sony's perspective, right? It's the PlayStation 5. That's it. Everything else is extra credit, right? So PC, not as important. They would want the PC version to be less than the PlayStation 5 version in order to fool the public into believing that the PlayStation 5 is better than PC, when it damn sure ain't. And that is, I don't know how legal that is, but in terms of fair trade and all that stuff, competition, that's not. I don't think that doesn't sound like it's legal. That doesn't sound like it's above board and all that stuff, right? So how are they getting away with it? And that's the question that the US Congress was asking. How is the JFTC letting Sony get away with these practices? You know, I have little faith that anything's gonna come of that, but bringing it up is good. I hope something does come of it to adjust their behaviors. But you know, it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna come to PC, so I don't have to buy PlayStation 5. But when the port is just so I mean, I saw the comments on Twitter. There were no good comments. There was 250 comments or something like that. Not that many comments, but, and I was like, they were like trash, don't buy it, unoptimized, da da da. I mean, they went on and on and on. I was like, wow. And then this one dude was like, oh, it's not that bad. I only get some stutters and stuff sometimes. I was like, what? No, you got a PC. You're not supposed to get that. And then there's this one. Well, a couple of them were talking about the shader compilers at the beginning when they first load the game. It does all the calculations and stuff. They said it was like 2 hours or something like that. I'm like, what? How? 2 hours? How you get 2 hours to load? Why? How does it take that long? Unoptimized piece of trash. I mean, day by day, it seems like Sony is losing face. They're losing, their reputation is being tarnished, not by like a mass public or anything like that. Because, I mean, honestly, like I was watching, it was on YouTube or something. They took out a clip and they were talking about, I think it was on CNBC or something like that. They were talking about the deal, basically, and how was it Japan? No, they're talking about how the CMA was letting it go through and stuff. And I was like, you know, these stories never came up on mainstream like news and stuff. Even the CNBC, like the business news, or CBS. No, I don't know what the CBS version is, but you know, I was like, I've never seen them talk about like Microsoft and Sony and CM and all this stuff before. I mean, they would talk about Microsoft in a grand scheme because it's such a big company, but they would never talk about like Xbox. Well, okay, I'm gonna take that back, because the fact that this is a Microsoft deal, so they would be talking about it. So okay, I'll take it back. But still, it's very far and few between. You see video game related stories like that, unless it's Congress is trying to block these games for being murder simulators and all that stuff back in the day, you know. So I definitely like the fact that we're in an age where we get more information than we would have before. Now, the younger generation, the kids or whatever, they don't care. They're just playing the games. They're not looking at all this stuff. So maybe it's because I'm a Gen Xer, I'm old, and I pay attention to that stuff a little bit more. At the end of the day, none of it matters. You know, we just talk about games, so just have fun, really. But you know, it is fun to get in there and talk about it in a way, because I can say on one hand, it's just fun. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. But on the other hand, people work here at these studios making games. This is their livelihood. They have families they have to feed and stuff. So any bad things that happen to them in their studios, there's a domino effect. And it does trickle down to the economy in a way. You know, if they lose a job, oh snap, you know, blah, 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 you know. So, you know, I try to think about that too. You know, the people who are making these games that are, you know, reliant on getting paid. You know, and you can be like, oh, the game is trash. Blah, blah. Who cares? As long as the devs get paid, it doesn't matter what you say about the game. They got paid, they're good. Unless they got a point system or something. Like if they sell a certain amount and they get points, then that's fine. But you know, yeah. There's no dev out there that wants to make a horrible game, that wants to make a trash game. They all want to make good games. They all want people to like their games. That's how it works. And when a game isn't good, or a game isn't popular, let's just say, because there's plenty of good games out there that aren't popular. So, you know, and that's another thing. That's why I think Game Pass is such an important cog in this machine of video games, the industry, because it showcases all these little games that otherwise wouldn't get a second look. If there was no Xbox and it was just PlayStation and Nintendo, indie games would solely be on Nintendo A, which is fine because, you know, they're doing pretty good. But it's harder to find these games, you know, and Xbox makes it easier. And they, you know, it's just more profitable for indie devs to be on Game Pass. So, you know, unless your game is big before it even gets on like PlayStation or whatever. The devs have said that. So it's like, you know, I think the way that everything is set up whether it's Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. I think there's a good balance right now as far as what each company is doing. They're all in their own separate lane. I think Sony right now is the one that doesn't quite know what to do right now because they're still in the old model. So is Nintendo, but their model is closer to like an iPhone because everybody wants a Switch because it's super convenient. It's convenient. Everybody wants one. It's the same with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is a little portable PC, basically. It's a little portable Steam machine. Basically what they've been trying to do for 10 years, and they figured it out. So I think video games right now is in a good spot, even with all the shenanigans that Sony's been doing to try to diminish certain players, which overall diminishes the value of the industry, if you will. You know, the more strong players that are in the industry, the more competition, the greater, the healthier it is. More games come out, more players. It's like a domino effect. If you make good stuff, regardless of where it is, then it grows the industry. And that's the thing. Like Sony is not concerned about growing the industry. They're just concerned about making money. That's it. And I don't think Sony should be in video games if that's the only thing they want to do. If they want to be making video games forever and ever and ever, then they need to make sure that the industry stays healthy and their activity and their behavior as of late is not conducive to that, not conducive to wanting to make the industry or to keep the industry healthy or to make the industry bigger or greater or more popular or more mainstream, to get more players in. They're actually opposite of all that stuff. Oh, let's raise the price of our console. That's a hindrance to players. Oh, let's try to block this deal so less people can play these games. That's a hindrance for gamers. I do not understand anyone who backs up a company that's like that. It doesn't make sense. If Microsoft was doing that, I'd be like, all right, Microsoft, y'all can kick rocks. I'm out because I don't hang with that. It's just like you trying to hang with a person that's just stupid. And you're like, why am I hanging around this stupid person? I'm out. I'd rather not have friends than have a stupid friend. So right now, Sony's the stupid friend. And the cheerleaders, the donkey unicorns, and the ponies who are in their corner cheering them on, rooting for them because they're the most popular or they're the winners, quote unquote. That's just a certain type of person. That's that fair weather fan. That's the like, oh yeah, I love the Patriots. You know, oh yeah, I love Tampa Bay now because your boys to the last season. I love, you know, yeah. But anyway. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this PC shenanigans happening? This one hasn't been the first time. This has happened before with Sony ports, so I'm just wondering, you know, is there something going on there? You know, let me know if any of you guys have played the actual PC port and what your experience was. And is it on purpose? Like, is that something like, if Sony wanted it to be good, couldn't they have just like, yo, you know, we made the PS5 version good, can't we make the PC version good? So, yeah, let me know about that, and yeah, that's it for today. I appreciate y'all. Every time, and I'm gonna work on the music because remember I said you got to give me all of April. At the end of April. It'll probably be done before the end of April, but I want to make sure it's good and stuff. So that's the timeline, if you guys were wondering. And I actually started writing it today, so there you go. I'm not playing. Anyway, I appreciate, and I'll catch you on the next one. Till the wait.